Hello everyone, welcome to Health Watches Manla. So in this episode I will talk about COVID-19 vaccines. With the COVID-19 pandemic still spreading all over the world, the biggest question we have is when will we have a COVID-19 vaccine? So with this regard, I will today address two important questions. One is what determines that a vaccine will work, and if it does work, when will we have a vaccine ready for use? So answer to both the questions lies in the outcome from the ongoing clinical trials of COVID-19 vaccines, particularly at the phase 3 trial. So at this stage, where the vaccine has been already gone through a number of regulatory processes and massive or extensive investigation, and once this vaccine has been tested in animals and having got the green signal to use in humans, and the vaccine goes into phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 clinical trial. So the difference between phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 is phase 3 is the stage where the vaccine is mainly tested for efficacy. So efficacy is the ability of the vaccine to provide protection. In other words, whether we are getting a desired protection from the vaccine. So that's where the phase 3 clinical trial will tell us whether a vaccine will work or not. So to give you a very brief description of like what happens before this is phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials happens with a very small group of people, because the vaccine has to be safe, and the clinical trial itself has to go step by step. So these are tested in very small number of people, around 500, 600 or 1000 people, mainly for safety and immunogenicity. So immunogenicity means the ability of the vaccine to induce response. So that means when a person is vaccinated and this vaccine has to induce a response very similar to when you get COVID-19 infection, in the sense not the sickness but the protective response. That's the sole reason that when a person gets COVID-19 infection, he or she recovers from the sickness. That is because of the immune response. So the expectation here is the vaccine will have a similar ability to induce immune response, and that's called immunogenicity. So coming back to the phase 3, as per the WHO site, there are about 6 vaccines which are in clinical trials in the phase 3, and about 180 vaccines are being developed, which are majorly at like very early stage, preclinical stage, phase 1, phase 2. So out of these 6 vaccines, I've listed here a few which are leading and they are already in phase 3 clinical trial. These are the one vaccine which is really doing good is mRNA 1273 from Moderna. Moderna is a company in USA, and another is AZD 1222. This is an adenovirus based vaccine, and these vaccines are theoretically they should induce the same kind of response, but the way they are designed are different. And the third vaccine is from China, Sinovac, and this has been recently approved for emergency use, and the clinical trial is going on in Brazil. And the fourth vaccine is from Gem COVID-Vac from Russia, and recently there was a news that this vaccine was ready to be used in humans, and further digging into information, it seems like this vaccine was tested in only in like 70 to 80 people, and right now they have announced a major clinical trial which will have around 40,000 people, and you can consider that kind of phase 3 clinical trial, and this trial will also go in Brazil and other countries. So overall we have few good number of like vaccine candidates that can really come out as a real COVID-19 vaccine, but the outcome that we will get from phase 3 will determine whether a vaccine will work or not. So what happens here? So as I said, the vaccine is tested for few important parameters like safety, immunogenicity and efficacy, and in phase 3, instead of taking small group people. Phase 3 is tested in like thousands of people, and also the in addition additional parameter, which is the efficacy. So for example, if we talk about mRNA 1273, so this vaccine is in phase 3 clinical trial and being tested in about 30,000 people. And how they will see the important parameters. One thing is, of course, these 30,000 people will be tracked for safety, immunogenicity, and protection. So particularly protection, as I said, will determine whether the vaccine will work or not. They will out of these 30,000, they will vaccinate about, say half of the population they have recruited for clinical trial will be vaccinated, and then half of them will be kind of injected with a similar kind of a solution called placebo. This is a solution in which the vaccine is made, but it will not have vaccine, so it is kind of no vaccine group. So once they are vaccinated, after 14 days or so, these people will be tested for COVID-19, just like the way we do COVID-19 right now in the field. So these people will be tested for COVID-19, and overall, as you can understand from here, that performing this massive study in 30,000 people and studying the safety, immunogenicity, efficacy, this will take a lot of time. So that brings us to the next question: when will we have the outcome? So if the companies which are carrying out this clinical trial, if they want to reveal the information, because this is such an emergency kind of situation because of the pandemic, they might reveal the information whether the ongoing clinical trial is successful or not. So if the vaccine is working, probably by November or December, we might come to know that a vaccine is working. That's the most important information that people want to know. So considering the timeline that will required to finish the phase 3 clinical trial, maybe February, March 2021, we will have a vaccine, if and only if one of these vaccines is successful in phase 3 clinical trial. So with this, another approach that countries can take is, for example, what USA is doing is manufacturing the vaccines without waiting for phase 3 clinical trials. So that way you are definitely risking economically, like not the health wise, without compromising any of the steps in clinical trial or any of the step in vaccine development. At least you can have the vaccines ready, and then when the phase 3 result is out, and if the vaccine is protective and working fine, then the vaccines will be ready to distribute or vaccinate into people. So I hope these kind of steps are being taken by, are being at least considered by all the countries which are severely affected by COVID-19. Here I will stop. The take-home message from my talk is, by the end of phase 3 clinical trial, we will know that whether we will have a vaccine or not. Hopefully this time by next year we will have at least 2 or 3 vaccines ready. And if you have any questions or comments, please write down. Thank you.